Hey, this is John Carlos. Now, when Star Wars Black decided to do their very first Princess Leia figure, did they go with her classic outfit from A New Hope? No! They went with the outfit that gave millions of fanboys their very first boners. I'm talking about the Slave Leia. So let's go check it out.
I am not terribly impressed with this figure. You know, over the years, Hasbro has never really been able to capture Carrie Fisher's face, and making a 6-inch line, that hasn't changed at all. This figure's face is pretty fugly. Now, I went to Toys R Us and had to pick through about 8 of these before I found one that had decent paint job, and this was the best one I found. Now, I've seen about, like 25 of these at various Targets at Toys R Us's, and they all have fug faces. There's just something about the sculpt or the way it's painted. It just looks awful in my opinion. But I think the hair on the back looks really good. I think they did a great job with all the little sculpting of the braids and the hairlines, and they used different kinds of brown, and that looks really good. It's a really clean effect. It's just too bad her face looks like a sad turtle. I don't know. It's pretty fug. But the rest of the body is worth noting that the skin scheme is plastic, whereas her face is painted to match the rest. So you do have like a plastic versus paint effect, and I always wish that they're a little more consistent with that. The bikini itself looks pretty good, though. I'll give them props for that, including the lines in the back. The little arm bracket looks good. But if there's one thing I absolutely hate, is cloth on a plastic figure. Not only do I hate cloth on a figure, but compared to some other cloth that I've seen in the past, this is really cheap material. It's just like one giant sheet that's been cut through, and you can kind of see how uneven these edges are. It just looks like, someone took a pair of scissors and just kind of cut along something they bought at Michael's or Joann's. And as far as the articulation goes, while I appreciate all these articulated joints, the one thing I've always had a problem with female figures is that there's less surface. So joints become more apparent because of thinner surface area. And, when it's flesh colored, it kind of just looks weird to me. But I mean, they're trying to be consistent with the rest of the line, and her character has fully exposed skin, so what are you going to do? It's not like a real complaint because there's no real way around it, but she just looks like, covered in weird, odd joints. Now this figure comes with 2 accessories, including the skiff guard staff. Now what's really cool about this figure and all the Star Wars Black figures is that they have swiveling wrists, but they have one joint that moves up and down, whereas the other joint moves side to side, and that really helps with them gripping various accessories. But on the whole, though, I'm not still that happy with this figure. Now here's the original Power of the Force Leia, and as you can see, her little drapey thing in the front was made of plastic, and I like that it matches the materials that the rest of the figure is made of. I hate that this does not match the rest of the figure at all. I mean, even look how well sculpted it is. I mean, you could have sculpted this to look really good, the way like Darth Maul's cape is sculpted and stuff. Also, I like how smooth the figure originally looked without all these joints sort of marring the sculpt. But again, you can't do anything about that. If you want this to match the rest of the line, you have to have articulation, and people want that articulation. In fact, I do too. I just, it's the endless war, articulation versus sculpt, and with this figure, I think a smoother sculpt, like back in the day, would have been a lot nicer. Although this figure is a lot less mannish than this figure is, it still has a mannish, nasty face. What can you do? Thanks for watching.